One thing you'll notice within the sim racing community is that there are very few things that are unanimously agreed upon. The most contentious issue would have to be which racing sim is the most realistic. It's hard to say for certain, but over the last decade there's really only been one that has managed to consistently assert dominance above the rest. It's actually one of the cheapest there is. If you're really willing to dig in and mess around with settings, most of the modern big budget AAA productions feel inferior by comparison. And while it's nice to have, a full sim rig is not a prerequisite to experience sim racing. If that all sounds too good to be true, then jump in the car, come on, we're going for a ride. I'll show you. This is the true extent of what can be achieved with a gaming PC, gamepad, and an open mind. Welcome back, speed freaks, traffic dodgers, and late night highway philosophers. You've just pulled into the channel where the roads don't sleep and neither do the drivers. I'm your host Techno Phantom, bringing you this week's turbocharged tales from the world of the Wangan. Now, for anyone stumbling in for the first time, maybe you clicked on this by accident, maybe you were looking for a cooking tutorial, who knows? Here's the deal. My channel currently lives and breathes SRP, the Shutoko revival mod for AssettoCorsa. In simple terms, it takes the 3D assets from games like Wangan Midnight, Maximum Tune, and lets us blast down the legendary Shutoko highway with the realism of a modern racing sim. If you've ever wanted to experience the vibe of street racing in Tokyo at 2 AM in 2008, minus the jail time and actual danger, with a healthy dose of some very questionable driving, you've come to the right place. Now, before we dive in, yes I know, I've been gone for a few weeks. Where was I? Well, I entered the dark, confusing world of video editing. Let's just say my editing timeline and I are still not on speaking terms, but today's video is worth the wait. Seeing as my video editing abilities match the driving abilities of the average Bayshore enthusiast, I thought I'd start with something more manageable, which is why I've chosen to focus on one of the slowest cars in the SRP car pack. So today we're breaking down the best moments from my recent livestream where I took the mighty Porsche 924 out for a run on the Shutoko with a few seasoned veterans of the road. Compared to the rest of the cars in the car pack, it's got about as much power as your grandma's mobility scooter, but the tyres make it a bit of an unsuspecting underpowered hero on the C1, so if you've ever wondered what gamepad street racing in a racing sim looks like from the perspective of someone who actually knows what they're doing, or at least pretends convincingly, you're about to find out. So buckle up, grab a drink, and let's dive straight into the action. I've seen ravers online, so I figured that's where I'd jump in alongside this bloke. So if it's your first time here and you're wondering what the hell am I looking at, my UI consists of a few mods that I've found to be pretty much essential in the time that I've spent in SRP. First things first, we've got the map in the top right there, that's called Comfy Maps, and basically what that does is it gives us information on where all the players are on the map, and you'll see those red dots, we can actually use those to teleport to various locations around the map. Super handy, particularly on larger maps like this one, just for navigation, and on servers where they have the teleportation feature enabled. And that's also how we've tracked down our friend here, who is pulling no punches as we struggle to keep up on cold tires. Ooh, lucky spawn. Over on the bottom left there, we've got a couple of apps going on. First of all, there is the Comfy Maps, but small. Basically the same thing as Comfy Maps, it just gives us a bit of a close-up on what's going on around us. Beneath that is the initial D-HUD, which gives us regular speedo and boost gauge functionality, as well as a drift light that lights up every time we're drifting. And there's those little blue and red semicircles there, which give us our brake and throttle readouts. Basically our tyre information app does exactly what you'd expect and gives us live readouts of the temperatures and pressures of all four corners. And above that is a handy little app known as Camber Extravaganza. It basically just gives us the camber alignment readouts as the suspension moves around. It just helps me to set alignment for the optimal camber values. And for anyone curious, I'll put links for all these apps down below. So yeah, given that information, what you should be able to see is that our tires are actually coming up to optimal temp now on the right side, and you should be able to see the way our front and rear contact patches are working. Basically, the front never achieves optimal contact patch, and the rear is hitting optimal contact mid-corner. It's basically just a limitation of the car. I've done everything I can to tune it out, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the video. Straight off the rip here, I'm struggling for grip, and as soon as the tires do warm up, I decide I'm going in for the kill, which ends up going pretty much as expected. Oh, went for the outside line. It's actually a good little skirmish going on here. Where's Rave? I may or may not have been being a little bit too aggressive there, so we end up resetting and going for another run. And we also swap positions so that I can return to the chase. I'm getting a lot of value here in the chase position behind this guy. He's super clean, so I can just trace his line, which is really helping me to fast track the process of acclimation to this particular car. A mutual flash of the hazard lights to acknowledge the traffic slowing us both down won't stop me from looking for a chance to capitalize. Safe to say our buddy has probably had a bit of a guts full of the B-52 bomber driving behind him, so we switch positions and I get a chance to prove whether or not my pace was just a slipstream advantage. I do actually get a run on him here, and usually it'd be common courtesy to slow down and bunch back up, but seeing as the pace is good and the lap is still valid, I decide to temporarily abandon my buddy in hopes of securing a cheeky PB. Sneaking past these two only makes the gap even wider. Somehow got the move done on both of these guys. You're going into the wall. And so am I. Invalidated. I'll wait up for Rave. Yeah, I just had to go for it. The corner speed is not bad. The straight line pace is not. looked great though. Oh, oh. Yeah, we've been having a pretty good back and forth. The only... See, I tend to overcommit and put myself into the wall. I've crashed like maybe 10 times to Rave's 0. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. If he's still using controller, because I'm clearly dying a lot more than he is. True. I think, doesn't he put gamepad in his name when he's driving roller as well? Oh, that was a part 1, but we both got through. Yeah, that headlight reflection is kind of obnoxious. But yeah, I kind of like it. It just adds a little element of distraction instead of it being like a full-blown problem. The front end of the car feels kind of like, don't know what it is, like not a mind of its own, but it's kind of loose, like the steering, which is not a bad thing necessarily if you use it right. It can just be extra grip, but when it's doing stuff I'm not expecting, when I'm not in control, it's also a hazard. A rare mistake out of Rave. A rare mistake indeed, and I'm smelling blood in the water. Unfortunately for me, as you can see in the small map to our left, there is in fact a larger fish lurking somewhere behind us. He was clean through there. Here we go. It's 15. Yeah, this thing's actually like crazy fast through the corner if you use it right. capable of it. It's not necessarily like easy. It's not very self-driving, but if you master it, kind of decent. Goes through the corner about as fast as a legendary, in certain places faster maybe, just because it's got that newer tire model. Unfortunately for the S15 behind us, he's still on the street tire, which will betray him shortly if you keep an eye on the rear view. Jazzing. He's in flow state right now. After racing all night, our rhythm is starting to match up, and we won't be slowing down at sunrise. Rule number 1 of SRP, you are never safe, and nothing is more dangerous than a disoriented casual. Alright. Glad he did that. Got me good. Bit of a clutch kick and keeping the revs up with some oversteer. Managed to get me a bit of an edge through that hairpin. Right, starting a fresh lap. Good spawn off the rip. What do we got here? Can I not psych myself out and make the best of what has been pretty good spawn so far? Just playing it safe on the corner speed through that one. See, it's easy to overcommit in this car because you can throw it in, but it's also a little bit loose in the front end, so you can get yourself into trouble. That cost us about a second and a half. That whole
traffic ordeal. Ah, and this is gonna kill it.
Rule number 2 of SRP, the traffic can become quite frustrating. Whatever you do, try not to blame the car.
Yeah, it kind of does need just a bit more beans. Kind of like the old Blackbird had a overtake button, push to pass button.
Those with a keen eye will notice that we've switched directions here, which means the score is reset as we look to re-establish the pecking order on a slightly different circuit.
I nailed that one. As it warms up, when the tires are cold, it has like the softer pressure, so it kind of has this extra added grip. Then as you go from like the cold pressure to the warm pressure, it almost loses grip for a moment. Starts handling worse for a short moment. And then it stabilizes again when it hits optimal temp and pressure. Alright, we're valid so far. Don't think it's terribly slow. There's not a lot of time to be lost or gained in those few corners, maybe a second or two. That was not ideal.
What a joker.
I catch that dude. And I'm gonna pass him.
I will find you. And I will kill you.
What is this guy doing? This guy is a tourist. He is not a local. I could rave the extra boost through that. Bro, what are you doing? Don't try to go straight again. Thank you. I'll take it.
I don't think I was fully aware of it at the time, but you'll notice our buddy in the pink S15 actually comes in clutch here, first by nudging us through, and then he takes up a pretty firm defensive stance, which allows us to get away from this absolute menace of a driver.
This guy's actually like borderline griefing with how bad he's driving. But it's not, you can tell it's not intentional either, they're just oblivious. We got another roof tacking on to the back of the train.
Rule number 3 of SRP.
Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. It's far more likely that they're all in their own worlds, doing their own thing. They're not paying attention to the world around them. And we all do it every day, whether you're driving, walking down the street.
Hell yeah, let's go nighttime. Oh yeah, here's Soggy in the roof. Porsche time.
So, with a bit of of help from one of the server admins, we go back to Midnight, helping us to leave behind the bad vibes created by this dangerous rookie, so that we can get back to what really matters and focus on locking back in.
Oh, it's tapestry. Hell yeah. Let's go. Yeah, I was wondering, because they're driving much faster. Like they could totally dust us. Good cruise though. Yeah, maybe S15 on 20%. 20% boost or something. Waves flowing. I take it the roof must be on reduced boost as well. Oh, nah, doesn't look like it now.
So in this situation, the 924s at the front of the pack have a superior tyre and therefore have a clear advantage in the corners, but keep an eye on the rear view if you want a really clear example of this straight line speed discrepancy. Bro closes the gap so fast I couldn't keep my eyes off the rear view myself.
Maybe this is the view that's optimal for this car. Just feeling like I'm getting myself in too many situations where I like realize what's happening once it's too late. I had a good pace through that, but it was there at the end there. And that's like not a terrible split, it's like a top 10 split. Maybe not number one, but somewhere in the 10.
So apart from just driving with each other, testing our limits and enjoying the vibes, you'll see we've got the lap timer up the top left of the screen. In SRP, basically the way it works is if you touch a wall at any point in the lap, it will completely invalidate your time. There's always a vague intention of maybe setting a top 10 time on the leaderboards. So after numerous failed attempts at a valid lap time, our leader decides it's time for us to ditch the competitive route and just follow the vibes onto a different part of the track.
Topped out at what, like 270 or something? If that. The horsepower must be pretty low.
And just like that, our friend in the other 924 has to call it a day, leaving me at the front of the pack with the responsibility of deciding where the vibes will take us next.
Yeah, there it is, 268, 270.
Not long afterwards, we come across these two Supras going at it on C1 Inner, and I want to know if I can hang in my high-speed lawnmower.
One down. Yo, Efe, what's up, man? Oh, okay, I'm starting to feel it now. Starting to lock in with the car and notice where the grip is with the front tires. I found it. It's actually OP. Once you find the point, it's like this point in the body roll. This actually has like where all four wheels combine and give you this added grip, corner grip. Sweet ass, man. Yeah, what boost were you running on the S15? Out of curiosity. Had to have been low, right?
I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge what's about to happen here. For most of us experienced drivers, the likelihood of crashing while driving through traffic is already relatively high, let alone when you add in the variables created by driving in a group. And generally what I tend to find is more often than not, for most of the fast drivers, when we come across a roadblock like this one up ahead, the leader of the pack will generally tend to barrel on through. Bearing in mind we're usually driving balls to the wall, and so you kind of just become a bit jaded to the idea of crashing through cars. But I do actually have a lot of respect for drivers who decide to slow down when they come to a roadblock, especially when they're in the lead position. Because yeah, as the leader of the pack, if you do decide to barrel on through, what it's going to do is force the AI cars to jam on the brakes, which might work out okay for you in the front position, but generally creates a much harder situation for the drivers that are following you. So even though I do have a lot of respect for this maneuver in this situation, let's not forget I am driving an absolute lawnmower of a car and I've got to take every opportunity I can get. So, with all of that in mind, here's how I chose to navigate this particular situation.
I'll take it.
Sketchy but satisfying. Now I'm gonna need you to strap in and get out your tinfoil hat because after all this racing, we are due for a top 10 time attack run, but we can't do that without first going down the mind-numbing rabbit hole known as tuning.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm definitely just gonna switch this up because this is garbage. Who's this art bat? Give it a go, I guess. Yeah, we've got the alignment. Okay, camber is maxed, max positive, and we're still never hitting optimal. If I max the wheel rate as well as the height, camber is about 2.5, negative 2.5, right? If I drop the wheel rate, 38, negative camber increases, but I am wondering if reducing the wheel rate, like when it is mid-corner, when it compresses, does that maybe give it more like ability to hit zero? Also, I'm a bit like wary of doing that because the front already feels loose. Alignment wise, we are towing out at the back, but we're towing out as little as possible. The other thing about it is I could reduce the rear spring rate, but according to Camber Extravaganza, the rear tires already are kind of in like the optimal pocket. They don't go over, they don't go positive, they hit green when I want them to hit green, so they're at optimal grip mid-corner. So the back jacked up like that kind of is ideal. It's like, problem is like, yeah, the way that I tune it, the logic that I go by, there still could be like other combinations and blind spots that I might be missing. Yeah, okay, I've dropped the... What effect does toe have on camber? Fuck all. Toe out in the front. Semi-slicks, let's give it a go, see what happens. Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm using Camber Extravaganza, right? So I know that the rear tires are like they're hitting, they're getting the max grip. We're using all the grip. SRP moment. R33. Oh, it's always just some fucking absolutely oblivious kamikaze driver. Just no idea of the people, no no awareness of the people around them. I think once upon a time there was nobody driving competently, you know? Yeah, hell yeah. Like some cyberpunk house music set. Thank you. Yes, we do accept those. Yeah, maybe tow out in the front actually. Because I don't think it doesn't feel like it's lacking turn in. What it's lacking is mid corner grip. Let me just try this. Let me just give it a go. Look, 48. We'll go. So that's reducing the camber as much as possible, and then we're also going to go to alignment to 0 in the front, which is quite a lot. But that's reduced the camber as much as we possibly can. It's quite a significant. Yeah, look. Because it's literally 28 or 48. That the wheel rate like feels kind of negligible to me. That's like a lower range of adjustment than most cars have anyways. 20 Newton meters difference isn't going to make, you know, it's not going to be super night and day or anything. It's soft either way, basically, is the way I look at it. So stiff as possible, surely a 4K and a 5K and a 4K spring in a 924 isn't that stiff anyways. That's how I look at it. And also because we're out of the range of basically the way I'm seeing it is the only real sort of like region for me to achieve gains in grip in this car is with the alignment, which is like way out of whack from default anyways. So yeah, well, look, let's give these changes a try and see what happens. Brake bias could also be played with. I think it's maybe slightly too frontward. Look, all you can do is play around and fuck around and find out, right? At the end of the day, process of deduction. Yeah, so toe out in the front wheel, in theory, is supposed to give you mid-corner grip, as opposed to toe in, giving you like grip on entry. As you turn the wheel, it bites harder. Whereas if you're like mid-corner and then you turn, toe out is supposedly giving you better grip at that point of the corner, which is kind of what it feels like this car needs, in a sense. It feels like I'm getting to like the mid-corner and then it starts sledging, front tires start slipping. And it also doesn't feel like the car has any issue like rotating enough to give me that turn in anyway. Like we can kind of throw the car into the corner and it achieves that turn in for us. So we don't necessarily need to rely on the front toe for that. Look, yeah, at the end of the day, I could just be yapping as well.
I think it's entirely possible.
Highly likely. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I might be onto something. The other thing is, at the end of the day, self-efficacy is the biggest predictor of success. Meaning, you got to believe in the car. You got to be vibing with whatever car it is that you're driving. So even if I am talking bullshit, if I believe that bullshit, that can also work in my work to my favor as well. Oh, shit.
So at this point in the video, we've been grinding for a few hours now, and even though I can feel the pace is there, a valid PB lap has still managed to elude me. When time attacking for extended periods, I generally tend to get stuck between having fresh reflexes but not being familiar with the car, or being well acclimated but running out of brain power after grinding for too long. We've done everything we can. The tune is optimized, the track is committed to memory, and all that's left now is for the driver to actually execute. The pressure is building. Was all my yapping just hot air and no truth? There's only one thing I can do. Try to lock in and hope that the gods of traffic answer my prayers.
Also the vibes are OP. You gotta have a good playlist. Never mind the tune. If you're vibing to the music, it makes the flow state 500% more attainable. Scientifically proven to enhance your driving ability. Shouldn't have gone to third there. Should have stayed in fourth and just planted it. Oh my god. Invalidated, but still moving. More RGB on my computer equals better skill and performance. True. It's kind of like the more stickers you put on your car, the faster it actually goes. Yeah, all I can say so far is doesn't feel like it's driving worse, which is usually a good time. Stability-wise, it's not terrible. I do notice the netcode, basically the lag difference. It just makes the colliders of opponents feel slightly larger. You hit people from a larger distance, and a little bit there's like a bit more impact added to it every time it happens. I run, on that one, I can't remember, I think I might even have a tune-up on the exchange for that thing. Because there's the options are weird. It's not just like a linear option, like selection of gear sets. There's like a transmission option and a few different gear sets for each transmission option. I think that, yeah, one of them was the sort of clear superior one, if I recall correctly. But I think I remember running like somewhere around 270 as the top end option. The top end of the gear set. Yeah, it's got semi-slicks now as well, if you weren't using those. They don't add as much grip as you would expect the semi-slicks to add. It's not like the semis that we got in the M3. We're on a valid lap here. I don't know that it's like groundbreaking, but it's finally valid, so I don't know. I think that's maybe thanks to the tuning options that were changed. Toe out in the front, who'd have thought it? But kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah, see, like, yeah, what I was saying about the spring rates is like a standard spring rate is around probably 4.8k anyway, so 48 newton meters anyway, so shouldn't really feel, it would just be, it's like adding a lowering spring. It's like adding I got a 425, don't know if, I think 19 among us was saying. The first sector for this lap was behind the Honda as well, so don't know if maybe I might even have a time that's already better than that. This is tough though. I like this car. I actually like it. I don't hate it. Yeah, I think EU is kind of dropping in population, so yeah, it dies to the Civic on belt, but it's pretty aggressive on C1. Not bad. Don't hate it. Let me save this tune as well. I guess. Oh, maybe we do end up jumping back in this, but let's inspect the time attacks. Oh, yeah, so I got myself, that was my PB, right. Pretty happy with it now, though. Definitely think I could improve on it. Hell yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I feel like I could do better, but yeah.
And just like that, we're back up on the leaderboards. Definitely not my easiest PB, but it's honest work. There's a lot of room for improvement, so hopefully we can make some better gains next time. This was just a taste of the AssettoCorsa online experience, and if you made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe so you can catch our next SRP journey when the time comes. If you enjoyed this content, go and check out my other videos, and if you do want to tune in live, also go check me out on Twitch, where I'm live more or less every Sunday, 12 PM New Zealand time. But other than that, thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Drive safe and look after yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one.